What is going on, guys? This is 42 Sports here, and today I am talking about the Nebraska Cornhuskers versus the Oregon Mighty Ducks, or Win the Day. What's going on, guys? 42 Sports here. So I'm talking about the Ducks versus the Cornhuskers at Eugene, Oregon. Now, it may not happen due to the wildfires that's happening on the West Coast. Now, this is just crazy stuff going around America today, even with the wildfires. Also, there's hurricanes and there's tropical storms in the southeast of North America with the East Coast. It's just crazy stuff that's going around. So I'm going to give you the stats from the previous two games, and from Oregon and from Nebraska, from the passing to the top rushing yards to the top receiving yards from players, and then the team stats as well, and also the yards allowed, total yards, and stuff like that. And then I'll predict who will win. I like Oregon, and also Nebraska I like is decent also, but I used to like Oregon a lot due to the fact that Chip Kelly, Marcus Mariota, was at the Oregon Ducks at the time, and Oregon Ducks basically just fell off and just crumbled a little bit. But hopefully Oregon will bounce back from the horrible records that they have for the previous 2 years. But they've got some new guys in and some new faces in the quarterback position. But Oregon's running back, Royce Freeman, is back with the Ducks, and he's a big part of the Ducks. And we got Charles Nelson for receiving, and we got Justin Halpert for Oregon. We also have Tanner Lee from Nebraska, who transferred in. I forget who he transferred from. I did a video of, he transferred from Tulsa, I believe, from the American Conference, I think, Conference USA, somewhere around there. But so let's go through the stats, and the matchup predictor says that Oregon has an 87% chance to beat Nebraska, which is a 12.9% chance of beating Oregon. Now, predictors do not mean a thing, because look what happened with Liberty. Liberty upset Baylor, which is the biggest upset so far this year, from a FCS now going to the FBS level in 2 years. So let's without further ado, let's go through the passing yards. Tanner Lee went 19 for 32, 238 yards with 2 touchdowns, while Justin Herbert for Oregon went 17 for 21, 281 yards with 1 touchdown. So Oregon, they beat Nebraska with the passing yards. So for rushing, we have Trey Bryant from Nebraska with 31 carries, 192 yards, and 1 touchdown. But Royce Freeman for Oregon had 23 carries, 150 yards, 4 touchdowns. Now, I think that might beat the rushing from Nebraska. From receiving wise, we have Stanley Morgan Jr. from Nebraska. He had 5 receptions, 102 yards, and 1 touchdown. We have from Oregon, we have Charles Nelson, 5 receptions, 99 yards receiving. So Nebraska's Morgan Jr. has the lead. So, but Oregon has 2 out of the 3 of the things that need to beat Nebraska. So let's go through the team stats. Points per game, Nebraska had 43.0. Oregon had 77.0, but that's because they played an FCS team and they won 77 to 27 or 21. But the crazy thing is, Nebraska barely beat Arkansas State, who's in the Sun Belt, 43 to 36. But Arkansas State is a decent team in the Sun Belt Conference. Also, points allowed per game, which I said earlier, 36 for Nebraska, 21 for Oregon. Oregon played an FCS team called Southern Utah State. I guess that's what they're in. I forget. Yeah. Passing wise, Nebraska had 200 yards passing. Nebraska had 238. I believe Oregon had 2 different people play quarterback, so they had 355 yards passing. Yards rushing, Nebraska had 225.0, while Oregon had 348.0. Yards allowed, we have Nebraska losing at this position, or this what do you call it? Quantity. What do you call it? Anyways, they allowed 497.0 yards allowed, while Oregon had 365 yards allowed. So that's a key factor for Oregon, that their defense played really well. Even though they played an FCS team, they played really well. And I know that they're no huddle offense, an up-tempo team. They love to pass. All Pac-12 teams love to pass. I mean, Cal Bears stinking beat my team, UNC. It was horrible. And the Cal Bears freshman quarterback threw like 363 yards. It was crazy. Yards allowed, or pass yards allowed, or passing yards allowed. Nebraska 415, while Oregon had 266. That's crazy. Rushing yards allowed. Nebraska did really well with rushing, so they'll stop the rushing game. 82.0, while Oregon struggled with 99.0. That's going to be the key factor. While Oregon is good defending the passing, they're not good defending the rushing. While Oregon is great defending the passing, while Nebraska is not. Nebraska is great defending the rushing, while Oregon is not. So that's the two key factors for both teams. Oregon is great with passing. Oregon is not great with rushing. Nebraska is terrible with passing coverage and not good, or is really good with the stoppage of running. So I feel like this game is going to go through the wire. It's going to go through the last touchdown. I feel like Oregon may overcome the Nebraska Cornhuskers, or the Cornhuskers will upset Oregon in a 45-43 win, or the Oregon Ducks will win in overtime, 56 to by a touchdown in not double overtime, but in overtime. It's going to be a high-scoring game. The defense really isn't going to be great for both teams, because both teams love to pass the ball, especially Oregon. I mean, Oregon had 700 total yards in the game, which is crazy, while Nebraska had 400. So there's going to be a lot of passing in the game and a lot of running for Nebraska, but they're also going to be for Oregon a no-huddle offense and high up-tempo passing for the Ducks. So I feel like Oregon may win this game, and I feel like they're going to win maybe around the 50s, 50 to 45 in the range, maybe going to overtime to win the game. But that's just my opinion. It's just a video. It does not apply to the game, so it doesn't really affect the game at all. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. 42 Sports here, and thank you all for my 200 subscribers. It means a lot to me, and it's almost close to my goal to get 1,000 subscribers. Alright guys, 42 Sports here. Y'all have a great day. Peace.
This is the 11th play of this drive. What a play, and that is first and goal. Hoping to double their lead here as they close in on the goal line.
The Cornhuskers had one of their key guys go down earlier, but it looks like he might be able to return.
And he's tackled at about the 5-yard line.
A tight, low-scoring game in that first 15 minutes. Let's see if things open up in the second quarter. 7-0, Oregon.